All right, what's good, party people? Let's go, let's go. I was trying to do tag team, but it turned into something else. How's everybody doing? What's good? I'm Lonnie Appleton. If you're not familiar with me, I'm a healthy family advocate. At the core, I advocate for the health and welfare of families by just conceptualizing, honestly, thinking about the possibilities, which also gives other people the opportunity to start thinking of the possibilities and expanding their own reality. So that's what we're doing. And I'm figuring out this manifestation thing. But that's a whole nother avenue. The reason why we're here today, and thank you for joining, welcome, welcome, welcome. The reason why we're here today is because I have committed to reading the Bible daily on live. And so we are on Genesis chapter 20, Abraham and Abimelech. I will butcher these names because I don't know what these names are. And I'm really reading the Bible from the perspective of what's between this cover and this cover, not the perspective of I have all these other reference points and all this other research behind me. Nope, I want to understand the Bible based off of what's between this cover and what's between this here, right here, and higher connective source communication, because most of us are fashioning our lives, or at least we say that we are, in accordance to God's word, even though most of us have never read God's word. That's why God told me to read it on live with you guys so we can read together. And I repost all of my lives on YouTube, Lonnie Appleton Live. So any live that you may miss always gets reposted over there. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And the way that this flows is I read, I discuss my thoughts based on what's going on in my head from what I read. You guys are more than welcome to have a discussion in the comments. Sometimes I pop in, sometimes I don't. And after we're done reading for the day, we go and we journal our takeaways. So we really can take the word of God and apply it to our life based off of what we were able to conceptualize today. What I conceptualize is what I could conceptualize. What you conceptualize is what you conceptualize. And that's what we journal, just to really drive home and give it that anchor point. And now we can really start questioning this, living according to this. Like, there's so many principles in here, and the answer to manifestation is in here. I know it. So that's why I'm reading it, because I'm about to I believe I have the cheat code. I believe those of you who've been rocking with me, and I always talk about, it's like, you're unlocking a lock and you have to put the combination in perfectly. I believe I did. It's a done deal. It's already done. We are watching the manifestation take place. And I'm really excited because it's been documented. I popped on the scene out of nowhere in December, right? Created this TikTok account. Even though I have accounts across everywhere, and we've been out as the Apple Turns on YouTube since 2019. But it's almost like I just popped out of nowhere right before the Black Girl Follow Train went through the portal, said the Black Girl Follow Train is going to make a bunch of millionaires, those who know this is an opportunity to take advantage of. And when I was saying that, I said those who know to take advantage of this situation, but what I meant was I know to take advantage of this situation. And I have created this platform, met a bunch of wonderful people through this platform, continue to meet and connect with wonderful people, grow the network, grow the community. If you're not part of the community, make sure you join us on all the platforms, because we post different content across all the platforms. And just dive in and let's do this work. That's what we do. We do this work, but we're entertained while we're doing it. So we can laugh, we can cry, we can think, we can experience all the emotions. You get frustrated. You don't have to agree with me. Shit, I probably don't agree with half the stuff I said 6 months ago, because I'm constantly just... I'm a scientist, I'm a theorist, I'm constantly theorizing. Just because I present an idea with absolute certainty doesn't mean that it's an absolute for me. It just means that I have sat on this for the time that I've sat on it, and a lot of times I'm just downloading messages. It's not even me, and it makes perfect sense at the time. But then I can have another perspective introduced, and then now it's something else. So that's the beauty of being able to be a free thinker. That is the beauty of free choice and free will. That is the beauty of going with the flow. Because if you are going with the flow is going to take you wherever it goes. And you have to have the flexibility to be able to go wherever the flow takes you. And if you are so staunch or stuck in a particular ideology, thanks for the love, guys. If you are so caught into a particular ideology or frame of thinking that you can't allow yourself to entertain other thoughts and ideas, then you are essentially making yourself stuck. Hey, Trin. So today we're going to read Genesis chapter 20, Abraham and Abimelech. So let's go. Now Abraham moved on from there into the region of Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur. Trinity, I'm about to drop this series on manifestation. Something really got unlocked for me yesterday. Like, don't worry. Like, what unlocked for me yesterday, and maybe I could convey it with the passion here for you. But really, I was talking to my friend, and I realized that we became friends 20 years ago so that we could be in each other's lives today, which means today was created 20 years ago. Do you understand? I don't want to go too deep because then I watch the videos, right? But today was created yesterday. So if today was created yesterday, today was already created. You understand? Like, it's big. Don't worry about anything. Everything that you're doing right now is shaping whatever the vision is for you have for yourself. So the key is for you to be so strong in your vision that you just know whatever the heck I'm doing right now, whatever the heck I'm doing is creating that which I want to experience because I'm that powerful. And you already know how powerful you are. You popping balloons in this BIE. So keep focused, sis. We got this. Yes, I'm seeing the correlations over the last few days. Yeah, you've been doing the energy worksheet. So I'm telling you, when you start opening up your mind to understand, and guys, I offer energy worksheets for $66. Check out the website, LonnieLifestyle.com, where you can work through whatever it is that you need to work through. And get more details at the website. But if you want to work on patience, if you want to work on kindness, if you want to work on, control, whatever it is, communication, I download and channel not a message, but just a worksheet. Think of a worksheet from like school where you had to sit down and fill in the blanks. Well, you're not necessarily filling in the blanks, but you're actually going through the worksheet and analyzing yourself. So instead of reading a book and filling in the blanks based off of the information you got from the book, you're studying yourself and you're filling in the blanks based off of the information that you're discerning from yourself. And it is a very powerful piece of self-healing. Yeah, I still gotta edit it, girl. Life has been life, and like I can't keep track. I need to really work on getting a schedule here, but let's read. For a while he stayed in Gerar, and there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, "She is my sister." Oh, he did it again, y'all. He said it's his sister. Then Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. Sarah was still banging at 100. Like, they still was wanting them a little piece of Sarah when she was, what? Was she like 100 years old? But God came to Abimelech in a dream one night and said to him, "You are as good as dead because of the woman you have taken. She is a married woman." Dang. God came God came up on the sniper and was like, "Yo, you good as dead because of that woman you laying with." And God do be pulling up. When I tell you I caught my kids in some stuff because Spirit told me exactly play by play. Spirit told me. And all I did was do what Spirit told me and ask a couple questions, and it was confirmed. So yeah, God's still pulling up on the sniper. Yeah, you as good as dead. Whew. I'm telling you, this God is cutthroat. But God came, do. Now Abimelech had not gone near her. So he said, "Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, 'She is my sister'? And didn't she also say, 'He is my brother'? I have done this with a clear conscience and clear hands." See, Abraham and Sarah been lying since they were Abram and Sarai. Ain't nobody talking about that. Then God said to him in the dream, "Yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience, and so I have kept you from sinning against me. That is why I did not let you touch her. Now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all who belong to you will die." I want to stop where it says, "I have kept you from sinning against me." I was talking to my daughter about her path in life, and she's at a crossroads where she's trying to figure out what she needs to do with herself. And my advice to her, my advice to all of you, is some advice that I took from Sarah Landon in the council. Don't make a choice until there's no choice to make. Which means if you are jostulating or oscillating with the decision, it is because you are making a decision. When it is God's choice, and whenever it is a divine, there is no choice to make. It's done. You know what I'm saying? And you are being led. And so when it says, "I have kept you from sinning," and my daughter's like, "Well, do I need to go do this? And do I need to go do that?" And, I have another friend who, she needs income. So she's been going on interviews and putting in applications, but she hasn't got a job. I was like, when you are on path and you start doing things in the physical world to alter what is going on in the energetic world, you will be blocked. And you feel like, "Oh God, I need a job, I need money." Well, no, let's think about the 40 years in the wilderness, the Israelites. We haven't made it that far. That's the next chapter. You know, there was provision, there was manna, there was enough to get through the day. That's why when Cat Williams says, "I'm the richest man I know," everybody's like, "Look at his net worth. He's not the richest man he knows." Yeah, you heard him say, "I'm the richest man I know." But I heard him say, "I'm the richest man I know. Everything I need in this present moment, I have, and anything that I want, I can go get." And I was like, yo, I'm the richest person I know. I ain't got not one financial worry right now. I'm sitting here chilling. My internet work, my light work, my eyes work. I'm rich. I don't have not one want, not one need. Now, I gotta be mindful if there's anything I want, I could go out and get it right now, because that ain't happening. But you know what I'm saying? I understood what he was putting down. And if we understood, if we can be present, and hey, Align Legacy, if we can understand, to be present and in gratitude, and knowing that if we can just truly focus on right now what we're doing, what do we need? Do we have all the amenities that we need to get through what it is that we're doing in this present moment? Then we are rich, we are wealthy, we are abundant. But we want to think about the future and all these different things. So I understood what Cat Williams said, and I understand, so I have kept you from sinning against me, because God is going to keep you from anything that does not align with your legacy. Early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all his officials, and when he told them all that had happened, they were very much afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said, "What have you done to us? How have I wronged you that you brought such great guilt upon me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should never be done." And Abimelech asked Abraham, "What was your reason for doing this?" Abraham replied, "I said to myself, there is surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she really is my sister, the daughter of my father, though not of my mother. And she became my wife." Whew. "And when God had me wander from my father's household, I said to her, this is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he is my brother." There's some stuff to dissect there, and I ain't just talking about the obvious stuff. This is how you show your love for me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he is my brother. There's something there. I just ain't got time to dig it out. Then Abimelech brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves and gave them to Abraham, and he returned Sarah his wife to him. And Abimelech said, "My land is before you. Live wherever you like." To Sarah he said, "I am giving your brother 1,000 shekels of silver. This is to cover the offense against you before all who are with you. You are completely vindicated. Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his female slaves so they could have children again. For the Lord had kept all the women in Abimelech's household from conceiving because of Abraham's wife Sarah. Whew. That was heavy, y'all. That was heavy. But Abraham was blessed because of Sarah. Abraham's life became more abundant because of Sarah. Sarah gave forth the future nations. Abraham, yes. Is there not another bathroom available? Abraham was able to give birth to nations, I believe through Isaac, because of Sarah. Sarah saved this man's life many times. Sarah lied for this man. Sarah did whatever this man asked her to do. Sarah did ask this man to lay with their servant Hagar so that there could be an heir because she had not had an heir at this point. But yeah, it's a very powerful bond between a man and a woman when it's the right kind of bond. That's what I'm taking from that. The birth of Isaac. Genesis chapter 21. Now the Lord was gracious to Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age, at the very time God had promised him. Abraham gave the name Isaac to the son Sarah bore him. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him, as God commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah said, God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me. And she added, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age. Hagar and Ishmael sent away. Speaking of, let's just conceptualize in our brain. We must strengthen our visualization skills in order to strengthen our manifestation skills. So let's just visualize the dynamic in this household when Sarah got pregnant. You think she was gracious in front of Hagar? Or do you think she was like, gotcha? The child grew and was weaned, and on the day Isaac was weaned, Abraham held a great feast. But Sarah saw that the son whom Hagar the Egyptian had borne to Abraham was mocking, and she told Abraham, get rid of that slave woman and her son, for that woman's son will never share in the inheritance with my son Isaac. Oh yeah, I need to know what was going on behind the scenes. Because I'm sure it wasn't a one-off statement. I'm sure you know how women do. Oh yeah, I just need the behind the scenes. I need the real version of these stories because it had to get real up in the field. The matter distressed Abraham greatly because it concerned his son. But God said to him, do not be so distressed about the boy and your slave woman. Listen to whatever Sarah tells you, because it is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned. I will make the son of the slave into a nation also, because he is your offspring. Earlier the next morning, Abraham took some food and a skin of water and gave them to Hagar. He set them on her shoulders and then sent her off with the boy. She went on her way and wandered in the desert of Beersheba. This man, just a few short paragraphs ago, got laced with camels, got laced with thousands of shekels of silver, got laced with, all these things just a few short verses ago. But when it's time to send his son, and the mother of his son out, he gives them a skin of water and some food. And I know God said don't worry about him, but you got all this wealth and you gonna send your son out with one skin of water, not even 2 skins of water. Y'all didn't have 2 skins of water. They gotta share a skin of water. That's like taking a super jumbo, water bottle from the QT and 2 people go out into the desert with it with a little bit of food. That's what he did with his son. When the water in the skin was gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes. Then she went off and sat down about a bow shot away, for she thought, I cannot watch the boy die. And as she sat there, she began to sob. God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, What is the matter, Hagar? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Lift the boy up and take him by the hand, for I will make him into a great nation. I want to stop there because it says, for I will make him into a great nation. God has often said many times to many people, I will make you into a great nation. God may have said to you, I will make you into a great nation. You may feel that there's a promise on you and a calling on your life in this lifetime, and you just don't know how to achieve it. But God has said to you, I will make you into a great nation. And it just seems like, okay, how is this going to happen? But you have to understand that God told me in my childhood, before I was 10 years old, that they will make me into a great nation. And we think when God's promise comes through, it's immediate. I'm going to do this, it's done. God told Ishmael and Hagar that Ishmael and Hagar will be made into a great nation while Ishmael was a baby. God told Sarah and Abraham that they will be offsprings, they will have offspring that will be of great nations, so multiplied. He said, if you can look at the stars and count the stars, that's how you'll be able to count your descendants. Meanwhile, this man didn't have no kids. So God's making promises years, decades, almost lifetimes before they actually manifest. So when you start thinking about, is this a blessing or is this a deal? Because this is what God is working on with me. And this is just all throughout life. As you encounter things, is this a blessing? Is this a deal? When God said, I will give all of these upon to you, how is it manifesting? Because what we do know to be true is God will make a promise to you, and it does not manifest for decades. God told me as a child I would be doing what I'm doing right now. 4 decades later, I'm actually doing it. So we have to understand that the promise that we have been holding in our heart for God, do not be disappointed. Understand that there's work in alignment that continues to need to be done. My audience wasn't here 40 years ago, but I was promised to be made into a great nation. So hopefully I made my point there, just to understand that if you have a promise that you feel that God has given to you in this lifetime and it has not manifested yet, understand you got a lifetime left to go. Keep refining, keep doing the work. If you need help, check out my coaching services, my mentoring services, my energy worksheets, my channels from higher consciousness, my book, all available on my website, LonnieLifestyle.com, link in bio. Then God opened her eyes and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. God was with the boy as he grew up. He lived in the desert and became an archer. While he was living in the desert of Paran, his mother got a wife for him from Egypt. The Treaty of Beersheba. At this time, Abimelech and Pichal, the commander of his forces, said to Abraham, God is with you in everything you do. Now swear to me here before God that you will not deal falsely with me or my children or my descendants. Show to me in the country where you now reside as a foreigner the same kindness I have shown to you. Let's just make even deals. Can we treat humanity like humanity? Why does somebody always got to be trying to get the upper hand? We both need this opportunity. Let's both equally benefit from it. Ain't nobody got to get more. Ain't nobody got to get less. Ain't nobody got to chump nobody. That's funny. It says 111. Hold on. Ain't nobody got to chump nobody. It is what it is. That's what that's saying. Equal and fair treatment. That's humanity. Abraham said, I swear it. Then Abraham complained to Abimelech about a well of water that Abimelech's servants had seized. But Abimelech said, I don't know who has done this. You did not tell me, and I heard about it only today. So Abraham brought sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two men made a treaty. Abraham set apart 7 ewe lambs from the flock. And Abimelech asked Abraham, what is the meaning of these 7 ewe lambs you have set apart by themselves? He replied, ooh, that scared me. Hey, Mad Mix, you done changed your name on me. Coop de Chaotic. Nice to see you. These 7 ewe lambs. He replied, accept these 7 lambs from my hand as a witness that I dug this well. So that place was called Beersheba, because the two men swore an oath there. After the treaty had been made at Beersheba, Abimelech and Pekal, the commander of his forces, returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there he called on the name of the Lord, the eternal God. And Abraham stayed in the land of the Philistines for a long time. Anybody curious what happened to Lot? Last we heard, Lot was being essayed by his daughters in the cave. Like, what's going on with Lot? Like, Lot had it all and lost it. Meanwhile, Abraham multiplying by multiplying. I'm just kidding. Meanwhile, over in the cave. Like, I just need a cut scene. Yes, I changed my name, Miss Ma'am. Yes, you did. I see it. Keep growing, keep evolving, friend. Chapter 22, Abraham tested. Sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, Abraham, here I am, he replied. Then God said, take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac. Thank you. And go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you. He said, take your only son. Thank you so much, friend. And sacrifice him in the mountain I will show you. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and loaded his donkey. He took with him 2 of his servants and his son Isaac. Now, how are we going to go from God saying sacrifice your son to the very next morning Abraham's loading a donkey? I need the in between. Like, what emotional struggles was this man going through? Because this is how we learn how to process through the things that we are called by God to do. God is calling us to do some stuff. God called me to read the Bible, and y'all already know how I get down. I was like, you want me to read the Bible? All right, I'll do it. God will call. But I've gone through some things within myself because I was just like, I'm the most unlikely person to read the Bible. You know, I've never spoke against the word. I've always said there's good things in here, but I've definitely spoke against religion. And so for God to be like, you know, I need you to read my Bible, because what Spirit told me is there's a place for us too. People like me, people like you, there's a place for us too. And we shouldn't be devoid of what's in this book, good or bad, because we're filtering through. Thank you, we're filtering through. But we shouldn't be cut off to what I know is in this book, which is the key to manifestation, because we have a bias because of religion. And so God said there's a place for us too. So that's why I'm reading the Bible, and that's why I'm 100% in, because I'm just like, yo, y'all ain't gonna cut me off from my promise just because you tainted it so badly to me that now I have a bias against you, but I ain't got a bias against the word. So let's get in there. Let's get in there. Thank you for loving on me. Early the next morning, he took with him 2 servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out for the place God had told him about. On the third day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to his servant, "Stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there. We will worship and then we will come back to you." Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and placed it on his son Isaac, and he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the two of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father Abraham, "Father?" "Yes, my son," Abraham replied. "The fire and the wood are here." Isaac said, "But where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Abraham answered, "God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." And the two of them went on together. Like, this is some crazy faith, y'all. Like, this is some crazy faith. Like, thank you so much. Is he trusting that God is going to provide something? Or is he like, I gotta sacrifice this kid. I gotta sacrifice this kid. I need to know, like, where's Abraham's journals? That's why it's so important to journal. Because journal the way that we typically journal. Today, God told me to go up to the mountain and take Isaac. So I took Isaac, and Isaac asked me, "Where's the lamb?" And that's what happened. But the way we should journal is, today God told me to take my son Isaac to go be a living sacrifice. And I don't know what to do. And I thank you for showing the love. Thank you. You have a great day as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I don't know what to do. The way that we should be journaling is, we should be journaling from a place of self-evaluation, to where we are healing ourselves through the things that are happening in our lives. If you guys don't know how to journal, pick up my book. I talk about all of the things that I talk about in my book, just in different language, because I was in a different place 10 years ago. But I'm speaking of it in simpler terms because it was given to me in simple terms. All the terminology and jargon that I use now, I've learned over the past year. But when I wrote my book, it was just, let's heal. So if you need a guidebook to help you along your healing journey, pick up my book, What's the Best That Can Happen, available on Amazon. Make sure the seller is Lonnie Taylor, or just click the link in my bio and it'll route you through my website to Amazon. But we really need to be journaling from the perspective of reflection on our day. Download our day, reflect on our day, and that is how we heal and learn from our day. When they reached the place God had told him about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called out to him in heaven, "Abraham! Abraham!" from heaven. "Here I am," he replied. "Do not lay a hand on that boy," he said. "Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son." Your only son? What happened to Ishmael? Ishmael don't get no love? Like, Abraham looked up, and there in a thicket he saw a ram caught by its horns. He went over and took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called that place, "The Lord will provide," and to this day it is said, "On the mountain of the Lord it will be provided." I just need to know how Isaac processed being bound and seeing his father stand over him with a knife, getting ready to sacrifice him. Like, did we skip off into the sunset after that? Like, that's some serious trauma there. We are imparting some serious trauma on our offspring, and they're just supposed to just move on. Like, there's no processing after that. Like, dude, you just tried to sacrifice me. That's some serious stuff. We need to have a conversation about that. Maybe not right now, but when I'm mature enough, we need to talk about this, because you tried to sacrifice me. The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time and said, "I swear by myself, declare the Lord, that because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son." Why do they keep saying your only son? because it's between you and your wife. But they had several wives. Which son or daughter mattered in accordance to the number of wife? And if it was born by a non-wife but a slave, but you have like 20 wives, like what's the difference here? I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand in the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and through your offspring all nations on earth will be blessed, because you have obeyed me. Then Abraham returned to his servants, and they set off together for Beersheba, and Abraham stayed in Beersheba. Like, they literally left the mountain. Like, it was just like, okay, and just left the mountain. Like, you didn't just try to sacrifice your child. Like, that's weird to me that they just brush over that, and then we don't understand why we don't have emotional intelligence. We wonder why we don't have the tools to move past traumatic events. You wonder why our parents don't take accountability for the terrible things that they do for us, because this is the example being set before us. There's no accountability. There's no conversations being had. There's no questions. Isaac did say, hey, we got the fire. We got the wood. Where's the sacrifice? And then he's like, the Lord will provide. And then when he gets up, Isaac willingly allows himself to get bound. Like, he's just like, okay. Like, and then when he sees the ram in the thicket, and he's like, unbinding his son, like what's the emotional feeling that he's like, what's like, there's nothing, there's no emotions at all being expressed here. And no wonder we are raising our homes without any emotional intelligence. Where did we learn it? Maybe we learned it in here, because we sure as heck ain't learned it in here so far. Nahor's son. Sometime later, Abraham was told, Milcah is also a mother. She has borne sons to your brother Nahor. Uz, the firstborn, Buz, his brother, Kemal, the father of Aram, Kesed, Hazo, Fadesh, Jeleph, and Bethal. Bethal became the father of Rebekah. Milcah bore these 8 sons to Abraham's brother Nahor. His concubine, whose name was Reumah, also had sons, Teba, Gaham, Tahesh, and Makah. All right, the death of Sarah. God dang it, Sarah dies, y'all. Sarah lived to be 127 years old. She died at Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan, and Abraham went to mourn for Sarah and to weep over her. Were they not together, or was he still in Beersheba when she died over in Canaan? I need to know. Then Abraham rose from beside his dead wife and spoke to the Hittites. He said, I am a foreigner and a stranger among you. Sell me some property for a burial site here so I can bury my dead. The Hittites replied to Abraham, Sir, listen to us. You are a mighty prince among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our tombs. None of us will refuse your tomb to bury your dead. And that just shows favor. Like, he said, sell me some land. And the people are like, nah, we see you. We understand who you are. We gonna give it to you. When you're a good person, you out here doing good, good comes to you. I have 3 cases where good has come to me. Last night we went to the drive-thru at 12 a.m. and the lady kind of snapped at us. And the typical energy, I'm matching energy, right? Okay, boom, boom, you snapping at people. But when she snapped at us, something in my spirit was just like, she dealing with stuff. And so when we pulled up, I was like, I wish I could give this woman a hug. Because that's all she needs. That's all we need is a hug. When we out here, we just need physical contact. When you're in conflict with your children, when you're in conflict with your spouse, just give each other a hug, and that will release the energy of conflict. Um, but yeah, while we were driving up, I told Bailey, I was like, I'm about to make her laugh. I'm gonna make her smile. And so when we get up there, I was like, "How you doing?" And I was nice to her. And immediately when she opened the window, she was like, "I apologize, yada yada yada." So she just apologized. And if I would have matched her energy, she wouldn't have apologized. She wouldn't have admitted and took accountability for her wrongdoing. And we ended up laughing. She ended up giving me a free drink, and then we came back a second time, and she gave me a discount on my meal. And then I'm about to go to a Tai Chi class with a teacher that I really wanted to work with, but I haven't had the financial means to pay for the class. And the teacher messaged me the other day and was like, "Hey, we got 2 classes this week free of charge. You can come." And then there's a young lady who does astrology readings. I don't know what they're called, but the birth charts. And I've been wanting a birth chart reading for years. But really put out into the universe. I was like, I really want this birth chart universe, or not universe, this birth chart reading. I was just like, bless me with the financial means to be able to pay her. And then she comes back and she's like, I would like to gift you with this reading. And I was like, yo. So that's 4 occurrences, me just being a dope ass human. Things that I've wanted have come to me. No strings attached. So just go through life being a dope ass human and see what comes back to you. And I ain't doing nothing except for just being nice and doing God's work, doing what God has called me to do here in this lifetime. If you are doing that, you ain't got nothing to worry about because you will be provided for. It is written, it is proven. Then Abraham rose and bowed down before the people of the land, the Hittites. He said to them, "If you are willing to let me bury my dead, then listen to me and intercede with Ephron, son of Zohar, on my behalf, so he will sell me the cave of Machpelah, which belongs to him and is at the end of his field. Ask him to sell it to me for the full price as a burial site among you." Ephraim the Hittite was sitting among his people, and he replied to Abraham in the hearing of all the Hittites who had come to the gate of his city. Excuse me. "No, my lord," he said, "listen to me. I give you the field, and I give you the cave that is on it, in it. I give it to you in the presence of my people. Bury your dead." That is so powerful. That is so powerful when you are walking with God. And the thing is, I am reading the Bible. I am the judge. So even though the Bible says that Abraham was blameless and upright, Abraham done did some stuff. Sarah done did some stuff. But even in doing some stuff, in God's eyes, they are still blameless and upright. They are still shown favor time and time again. So even though I can look at this and be like, yo, this dude ain't blameless and upright, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what God thinks. And so you can look at me and you can judge me and you can say, nah, she ain't blameless and upright. But in the eyes of God, in the eyes of who truly is the judge, I am blameless and upright enough in accordance to my God's requirements for my service to them, that I will continue to be shown favor. I will continue to be blessed. I will be continued to be elevated and uprise. I dropped a series recently of people, because God has been revealing to me, which makes me believe that contracts and opportunities are going to be coming to me, because it has really been being taught to me to pay attention to these things. And I just dropped a series about, people out here selling their souls left and right. They just don't know that they're doing it because they think that the essence of selling your soul is, this big time thing. But anytime you accept less than what you deserve in this lifetime, you are in essence selling your soul. And so if we understand that, I forgot my point. I don't want to leave that one hanging because that one's a sticky one. This phone keeps making noise at me and it keeps distracting me. I gotta figure out how to turn that off. I wonder if I just drop the volume on my phone, that'll stop it from making noise at me. But I don't know if y'all can still hear me. Can y'all still hear me? Double tap the screen if you can still hear me, please. Anyway, why did I tell that story? Oh, because somebody left a comment. Thank you for letting me know. Someone left a comment that said, I wonder what the stories are of the people that have achieved success that have not sold their soul. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Because the way we already know, God promised me to Abraham. Let's think about this big picture. God promised me to Abraham because I am a descendant of Abraham in accordance to this. And this is what I'm utilizing, which means whatever period in time that Abraham existed, God told Abraham that I would be here. How many lifetimes after Abraham did I materialize? So we have to understand that the promises that are coming to us from God will not immediately materialize. So how many people who are out there who actually have not sold their soul, we don't know. But we understand that God's promise takes time. That's the one thing we know. That's the one thing we know. And when you are journeying along and you are an upright person and pleasing in the eyes of God, I don't have to be pleasing in the eyes of man. I just have to be pleasing in the eyes of God. I understand that my steps are ordered. My steps are already written. I'm about to drop a series on another manifestation cheat code that became available to me right after this. I got to edit it real quick. Again, Abraham bowed down before the people of the land, and he said to Ephraim in their hearing, listen to me. If you will, I will pay the price of the field. Accept it from me so I can bury my dead there. Ephraim answered Abraham, listen to me, my lord. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. But what is that between you and me? Bury your dead. Abraham agreed to Ephraim's terms and weighed out for him the price he had named in the hearing of the Hittites, 400 shekels of silver, according to the weight current among the merchants. So Ephraim's field in Machpelah near Mamre, both the field and the cave in it, and all the trees within the borders of the field, was deeded to Abraham as his property in the presence of all the Hittites who had come to the gate of the city. Afterward, Abraham buried his wife Sarah in the cave in the field of Machpelah near Mamre, which is at Hebron in the land of Canaan. So the field of the cave in it were deeded to Abraham by the Hittites as a burial site. Remember before Abraham, when the other king was like, yo, let me do something for you. I don't remember. But he said, he was like, yeah, I'm not taking, okay, boom. Then Abram gave him a tenth of everything. Then the king of Sodom said to Abram, give me the people and keep the goods for yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, with raised hand I have sworn an oath to the Lord, God Most High, creator of heavens and earth, that I will accept nothing belonging to you, nor even a thread or a strap of a sandal, so that you will never be able to say, I made Abram rich. So we know that way back in chapter 14, Abram was like, nah, I'm not taking handouts. So when he was like, let me have this burial site, I'll pay you for it. And he was like, you can have it. He was like, no, I'll pay you for it. And he's like, okay, well, this is what it's worth. So he paid for it. I need to own this. This is mine. This is not a gift from you. This is mine. So he was very meticulous or very particular about what he allowed people to give him. I'm seeing, because sometimes, He was gifted stuff, and other times he was like, nah, I'm going to pay for it, or nah, I ain't taking nothing from you. So, spirit of discernment. Isaac and Rebecca. What time is it? 12:51. Yeah, we could get through chapter 24. Abraham was now very old, and the Lord had blessed him in every way. He said to the senior servant in his household, the one in charge of all that he had, "Put your hand under my thigh. I want to swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of earth, that you will not get a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I am living, but will go to my country and my own relatives and get a wife for my son Isaac." The servant asked him, "What if the woman is unwilling to come back with me to this land? Shall I then take your son back to the country you came from?" "Make sure that you do not take my son back there," Abraham said. "The Lord, the God of heaven, who brought me out of my father's household and my native land, and who spoke to me and promised me on oath, saying, 'To your offspring I will give this land,' he will send his angel before you so that you can get a wife for my son from there. If the woman is unwilling to come back with you, then you will be released from the oath of mine. Only do not take my son back there." So the servant put his hand under the thigh of his master Abraham and swore an oath to him concerning this matter. He said, "Go do work." He said, "What if I get there and they not ready for me?" He said, "The Lord God will send an angel before you and prepare everything for you." Do you understand? Everything is prepared for you when you are doing the work. If you are on path and doing the work, it's already prepared for you. And this is aligning in confirmation with the videos I'm about to drop. It's already been written. I understand so deeply now what it means when it's been written. This life has already been written. It's pretty freaking cool. Get excited. Understand that it's already done and you just got to go through it. Then the servant left, taking with him 10 of his master's camels loaded with all kinds of good things from his master. Now he sent Hagar and Ishmael out with a little thing of water and a little pinch of food. But this dude going out into the unknown with 10 of his camels loaded with all kinds of good things for his master. Just the messery of it all. Like I said, when they said, Abraham was good and upright and pleasing to the Lord, Abraham was doing some shady stuff. So what I'm saying is, we sitting here judging each other like these people in the pulpit acting like they're perfect. Why you gotta act perfect to be pleasing to God? Who in here is perfect? Ain't nobody in here perfect. But you're still pleasing to God because you're doing what God is asking you to do. You are human. You are spirit and you are human. And in that human experience, we have free choice and free will. And sometimes our choices and our free will ain't going to be the best. But we're trying. And it's the effort and the essence of the trying and showing up for yourself, showing up for God, showing up for your divinity. And that's what I feel is, and that's what's getting me results. Like, I'm not going to continue to refine myself to be pleasing to humans and act like I walk on water for y'all. No, I'm me, and I'm still getting blessed. And you can be you, and you can do the work, and you can heal yourself, and you can grow closer in your relationship and your divinity, and you can be blessed as well. Because a lot of us are receiving a lot of deals, and we're thinking we're blessed. They're blessings, and they're not. He set out for Aram Naharaim and made his way to the town of Nahor. He had the camel kneel down near the well outside the town. It was towards evening, the time the women go out to draw water. Then he prayed, divine timing. Then he prayed, "Lord God of my master Abraham, make me successful today and show kindness to my master Abraham. See, I am standing beside this spring, and the daughters of the townspeople are coming out to draw water. May it be that when I say to a young woman, 'Please let down your jar that I may have a drink,' and she say, 'Drink, and I will water your camels too,' let her be the one you have chosen for your servant Isaac. By this I will know that you have shown kindness to my master. So this is the second time that we have a sign given from above, from spirit into the physical world, that something is happening. The first one was the rainbow, and now we have let me having this conversation be a sign. So we are perfectly within our right to ask for signs and confirmations from our environment. It's what it is. It's been happening. Before he had finished praying, Rebekah came out with her jar on her shoulder. She was a daughter of Bethuel, son of Milcah, who was the wife of Abraham's brother Nahor. Oh, that's why they gave us the whole little rundown over there. The woman was very beautiful, a virgin. No man had ever slept with her. How come we don't ever hear about the men's virginity, but we always hear about the woman's? She went down to the spring, filled her jar, and came up again. The servant hurried to meet her and said, "Please give me a little water from your jar." "Drink, my lord," she said, and quickly lowered the jar to her hands and gave him a drink. After she had given him a drink, she said, "I'll draw water for your camels too, until they have had enough to drink." So she quickly emptied her jar into the trough, ran back to the well to draw more water, and drew enough for all his camels. Without saying a word, the man watched her closely to learn whether or not the Lord had made his journey successful. So she doing work, running back and forth, getting the water for the camels. And he's sitting there watching her. The patriarchy in that whole little paragraph, the misogyny in that whole little paragraph. When the camels had finished drinking, the man took out a gold nose ring weighing a beka and 2 gold bracelets weighing 10 shekels. Then he asked, "Whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there room in your father's house for us to spend the night?" She answered him, "I am the daughter of Bethuel, I don't know how to say it. One of those three might be right. The son that Milcah bore to Nahor." And she added, "We have plenty of straw and fodder, as well as room for you to spend the night." Then the man bowed down and worshipped the Lord, saying, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not abandoned his kindness and faithfulness to my master. As for me, the Lord has led me on the journey to the house of many master's relatives." The young woman ran and told her mother's household about these things. Now Rebekah had a brother named Laban, and he hurried out to the man at the spring. As soon as he had seen the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's arms, and had heard Rebekah tell what the man said to her, he went out to the man and found him standing by the camel near the spring. "Come, you who are blessed by the Lord," he said. "Why are you standing out here? I have prepared the house and a place for the camels." Did you prepare it, or did Rebekah prepare it? Keep it G. So the man went to the house, and the camels were unloaded. Straw and fodder were brought for the camels, and the water for him and his men to wash their feet. Then food was set before him. But he said, "I will not eat until I have told you what I have to say." "Then tell us," Laban said. So he said, "I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has blessed my master abundantly, and he has become wealthy. He has given him sheep and cattle, silver and gold, male and female servants, and camels and donkeys. My master's wife Sarah has borne him a son in his old age, and he has given him everything he owns. And my master made me swear on oath, and said, 'You must not get a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whom land, but go to my father's family and to my own clan and get a wife for my son.'" So do you understand how it's always been about the money? He pulled up with all this show of abundance, and they were like, "Whatever you like." We've been materialistic. We've been chasing the almighty dollar since Isaac and Sarah. Sarah was sold for a nose ring and a couple bracelets and some camels. Then I asked my master, "What if the woman will not come back with me?" He replied, "The Lord before whom I have walked faithfully will send his angel with you and make your journey a success, so that you can get a wife for my son, from my own clan, and from my father's family. You will be released from my oath if, when you go to my clan, they refuse to give her to you. Then you will be released from my oath." When I came to the spring today, I said, "Lord God of my master Abram, Abraham, if you will, please grant success to the journey on which I have come. See, I am standing beside this spring of a if a young woman comes out to draw water, and I say to her, please let me drink a little water from your jar, and if she says to me, drink and I will draw water for your camels too, let her be the one the Lord has chosen for my master's son. Before I finished praying in my heart, Rebecca came out, and with her jar on her shoulder, she went down to the spring and drew water, and I said to her, please give me a drink. She quickly lowered her jar from her shoulder and said, drink, and I'll water your camels too. So I drank, and she watered the camels also. I asked her, whose daughter are you? She said, the daughter of Bethuel, son of Nahor, whom Milcah bore to him. Then I put the ring in her nose and the bracelet on her arms, and I bowed down and worshipped the Lord. I praised the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who had led me on the right road to get the granddaughter of my master's brother for his son. Now, if you will show kindness and faithfulness to my master, tell me, if not, tell me, so I may know which way to turn. Divine timing and favor. Like Rebecca, we all know how this, well, some of us don't know, but most of us know, how this all turns out. So you have to understand that when God sends you on a mission, everything, everyone is already in place. There's no resistance. I'll leave it at that. That's your spirit of a discernment. I'm not going to go into, we're dealing with humans. But doors that are meant to open, that are divine in divinity, they're going to open without force. Everything that has been for me has just been a walk in the park. Everything that has not been for me and that I was creating has always took effort, even if it's a little bit of effort or a lot of effort. But what I'm doing right now, I'm just literally just going with the flow. And the work for me is to be at peace in going with the flow, in the unknown, in the uncertainty, and to trust and to have the faith to know that what I am manifesting and creating is what I am manifesting and creating. Laban and Bethuel answered, this is from the Lord. We can say nothing to you one way or the other. Here is Rebekah. Take her and go, and let her become the wife of your master's son, as the Lord has directed. All I got to say is there was some strong energy connection there. Like when you're in the presence of the Lord and you're receiving a message from God, it's like somebody can say something as crazy as, yeah, I was told to take your daughter to an unknown land, and I'm going to tell you, just because I pulled up with these 10 camels on my Alibaba, what's his name, on my Aladdin, I pulled up on that, and you just got to trust. There's got to be some real trusting and knowing and hearing from the Lord on all sides in order for this to go down. So that's pretty powerful magic going on right here. When Abraham's servant heard what they said, he bowed down to the ground before the Lord. Then the servant brought out gold and silver jewelry and articles of clothing and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave costly gifts to her brothers and to her mother. Then he and the men who were with him ate and drank and spent the night there. So money, money, money makes the world go round. When they got up the next morning, he said, send me on my way to my master. But her brother and her mother replied, let the young woman remain with us 10 days or so, then you may go. But he said to them, do not detain me. Now that the Lord has granted success to my journey, send me on my way so I may go to my master. Then they said, let's call the young woman and ask her about it. So they called Rebekah and asked her, will you go with this man? At least they finally asked a woman what she wants. I will go, she said. So they sent their sister Rebekah on her way, along with her nurse and Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said to her, our sister, may you increase to thousands upon thousands. May your offspring possess the cities of their enemies. Then Rebekah and her attendants got ready and mounted the camel and went back with the man. So the servant took Rebekah and left. Now Isaac had come from Beer Lahai Roy, for he was living in the Negev. He went out to the field one evening to meditate. They were meditating in the Bible, y'all. And as he looked up, he saw camels approaching. Rebekah also looked up and saw Isaac. She got down from her camel and asked the servant, Who is that man in the field coming to meet us? He is my master, the servant answered. So she took her veil and covered herself. Then the servant told Isaac all he had done. Isaac brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah, and he married Rebekah. Wasn't Sarah dead? But she still had a tent. So she became his wife, and he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Okay, so mom still had a tent. So this was shortly after her death, or he was still reeling from her death. Who knows? The death of Abraham, chapter 25, is what we will read tomorrow. I've enjoyed our time together. And those of you who are unaware, I'm Lonnie Appleton, Healthy Family Advocate. I read the Bible here on live on TikTok daily, Monday through Saturday. I take Sundays off, present schedule to be changed, but I did make a promise to God that I'm going to read the Bible. So this is a challenge for myself to show up, as well as honoring a commitment that I made to be pleasing and upright to God. And I was asked to read this Bible and just ask questions and help us allow this text to enter the chat into our daily lives so that we can apply it in the ways that it can be applied. And we can definitely get rid of that which we don't have to take every word out of this book. But if there is something in here that can help us better navigate our lives, why not? We'll pick up any other book out there. Why can't we pick up this book? And all other holy texts. I just choose this one because I was raised with this one and I'm familiar with it. I have a Quran up there, but I can't even begin to start understanding what is going on in that thing. I upload all of my lives on YouTube, Lonnie Appleton Live. So if you missed the live reading, then check it out over there. There's, Genesis chapter 1 through 20 over there already, as well as my teaching that I did on Job on Sunday. It dropped today, so check those out. Get familiar with me by following and joining the community. We just out here figuring life out, and we're doing it together as a community and having the support that we all seek and desire. And check out my merch, check out my books, check out my offerings as far as a coach and a channel and the worksheets that I offer, and really get into the healing journey and be purposeful. If you are sitting idly by expecting your life to evolve and change, you're setting yourself up for another year of the same. So let's get proactive, whatever proactive looks like for you. Have a wonderful day, guys.